Yes, bad news is bad news. Good news is good news now. It's been one of these weird cycles, but I think we're finally getting to just focus on what Powell has to say, focus on the Fed. The one thing that Jerome Powell has been consistent about is telegraphing every move. And you led this segment saying we're going to parse every single word he says. We are. Those Fed minutes were dissected. This Jackson Hole speech, every way he talks, he expresses himself, the setting where he gives his speech will be under review, looking for any clues as to whether we go 25 or 50. But the one thing we do know is he will telegraph that cuts are coming. He'll talk about the dual mandate, talk about unemployment. He'll finally address what happened 2 days after the last meeting, and he'll give us the game plan going forward. And my fear is that the market's already anticipated this, and if he doesn't give a hint to 50 basis points, then we probably have it already baked in and we could see a bit of a pullback.
Yeah, I want to ask about that, Jay, because there has been some talk in the market that what we'd seen on August the 5th, perhaps we're not likely to see that kind of sell-off or volatility return, but the markets could perhaps take another leg down, particularly as we do maybe have some of the data coming out in the next few weeks that, the markets, of course, as you say, will be holding on to every word, but also hanging on to every number as well. So what do you see as sort of the trajectory for these markets over the next few weeks or so?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you mentioned the VIX. The VIX on August 5th hit 60. I've been doing this a long time. That was the third highest reading ever, bigger than 9/11, which I was there for. And when I heard that stat, I was shocked. So I went back and I looked at how the VIX has acted just in presidential cycles, because the headlines that we're going to get here in the United States over the next 6 to 8 weeks, they're going to be moving markets. I'm not a big, election guy. I think the market will resolve after the election because it tends to do that every single time. But we're coming into seasonally the most volatile month of the year in September. In fact, the last 3 August and September stretches have been down. Yes, we're slightly up in August right now, so there's a chance August may be an up month. We have a week to go. But right now, that 60 in the VIX, there will be aftershocks as a result of that. When we had a big VIX movement in 2016 and in 2020 during COVID, in September, in late October, early November, right as the election was happening, we saw 2 more big spikes, not nearly as dramatic. But investors are still jittery. Those jitters just didn't solve themselves after one day and one VIX spike. So if we see some negative news, we don't get that message that we're looking for, a definite 25 basis point cut, possibly 50, then I think it's already baked in and we're probably going to chop sideways for those next 4 to 8 weeks.